Hey, how y'all doing? Back with another episode of Chop It Up with Coco. Wanted to say thank you to everybody for viewing my episodes. I've been getting a lot of really good feedback about a lot of good times, about a lot of good things. This was the main thing for this Chop It Up with Coco. I wanted to express life from my viewpoints as a kid all the way through pro football. I took a little bit of an intermission. I went and did something special for the women in my life. I did a Mother's Day special. So I'm going to put that up Saturday evening for all the special women in my family, in my life, even people that wasn't in my family. If you um, had a part to do in my life, I celebrated y'all. So I did a pretty special Mother's Day special celebration for all the great moms that was in my family and had a lot to do with my success in life. So that'll go up Saturday to be ready for Sunday for everybody to view. And I spoke to a lot of the women in my life that went through a lot. They're really, really strong, man. They're the backbone of the last name of Blaylocks, etc. So I just wanted to give them a major shout out. So now what I'm going to do is I want to talk a little bit about that real quick before I get into my junior college episode here on Chop It Up with Coco. Again, like I said, thank a lot of y'all for. I was trying to reach some people in general, people that I grew up with, people that shared those things with me. I got a lot of calls and a lot of text messages and a lot of feedback that meant the world to me. Thank y'all for talking about my father, my brother, my sister, and just those people that impacted y'all the way they impacted me. So thank y'all for that. Please continue to subscribe to my YouTube page. I really appreciate that. And with that being said, I want to have a message for all the men, man. I just did an intermission and did a Mother's Day special. I want to say to all the men in the world that I know that's watching this, and it ain't no disrespect to nobody. Um, Women in this world, men, there's no reason in the world that you should hit your woman, hit any woman in this world, man. Men, we can defend ourselves. If a woman want to haul up and slap us and hit us and kick us, and we can refrain them from doing that to us, and that's the way you should do it. But don't shake them up, don't choke them, don't punch them, don't beat them, man. Because it might be your sister, might be your mom, might be your daughter. So with that being said, man, real men don't hit women. Only cowards hit women. You know what I mean? I believe that from the bottom of my heart. And I've seen a lot of men that I knew. I just can't respect it, man. Most men that beat up on women and hit women won't even fight a guy at a bar. A guy might knock their beer out their hand or say something slick to them, and they want to be buddy cool, shake their hand. Man, if you got that kind of energy to beat up on a woman, man, do that to a nigga in the street. I know there's a few men that'll hit on anybody. I understand that, but to me, there's no way in the world that no man should ever beat on a woman, no matter what she says, no matter what she does. If you got to beat on your woman, you shouldn't be with her, man. So with that being said, man, I'm trying to reach the guys, man. If you're doing that in your life, man, get that out your life, man. That's somebody's daughter, man. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's mom. Get that out your life, fellas. We don't need to be hitting on women. With that being said, I hope the mothers enjoyed my Mother's Day special that I did for you all. It was extremely sincere. Talked about a lot of points that I didn't know about from family and friends. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I did a special one out for the mothers, for all the mothers in the world. For that being said. With that being said, I want to move right along to this next episode, man. I'm done with Little League. I'm done with high school. Little League and high school was a little rough for me, but I got through it. It was cool, man. It was relief. It was raw and authentic, and it was 100% accurate. So thank y'all for that, man. But now I want to jump into my junior college. There's a lot of things that happened with me in high school, which is the roughest time for me. And I had the people that held me down, and I made it through that. So to all y'all had a part of that, man, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all for that. And that's why I saluted y'all, and that's why I came out and did that. And I wanted to let the world know, man, I had a lot of success, and I want to thank those people along the way that helped me out, man. So thank y'all from the bottom of my heart with that right there. So here we go, man. This next one episode, man, is going to be fun for me. It's kind of like, I want to label it as freedom. When I got to junior college, man, I'm gonna talk about the town and how I got there and things like that. And all of that. So when I got to junior college, it was I want to label this as freedom, man. It was the first time in my life where all the bad negative things that I had going through was kind of in the back in my review mirror. And I kind of want to look at that from this point on. I mean, there'll be some times like again up and down, very straight up with everything, man. I just say it the way it is. I say it the way it happened. So I'm going to give a lot of people a chance to come back and rebut a lot of things I said. Again, I want this to be a positive thing. You know, it's a bio of my career, of how I seen it and how I ran with it. And like I said, I'm going to give people some chance to come on and do that with me. So with that being said, let's sit back and let's have fun. Now let's make this fun from this point on. So junior college, man, coming out of high school, I didn't have my grades, wasn't where they needed to be. Again, when I was a junior, I had a lot of big Division I schools that was interested, but nobody wouldn't touch my grades, wasn't where they needed to be. So when I got out of high school, man, I went to a junior college, man, in Estherville, Iowa. The junior college I went to was called Iowa Lakes Community College. Iowa Lakes Lakers. So with that, I got to talk about that name first, man, because all the guys I played with, all the people we played against, man, that name is the wackest name I ever heard in my life. The mascot, everything about it, I got to give them props and let me do my thing there. But the Iowa Lakes Lakers. That's horrible, man. Who the hell gonna be scared of a Laker? I mean, I think it was a boat. I don't even know what a Laker is, man. But it was the Iowa Lakes Lakers in Estherville, Iowa. So shout out to that. But I mean, we could have had a better name than that, man. They probably didn't value football or something like that back in the day. But all y'all watching this, man, I'm guaranteeing y'all cracking up, and you got every right in the world to do that. Iowa Lakes Lakers Community College is where my joy started, man. So let me talk about that, man. Iowa Lakes, or Estherville, Iowa, was a small town of a couple thousand people. I want to tell you how I got there, man. I'm going to tell y'all a 100% true story. So, you know, with me going through the things I went through, you know, my brother Patrick, we started getting back in each other's lives and things like that. He always been around, but he was a man doing what he had to do as well. And I remember when I told him that I was going to end up going to a junior college, because my dream coming out of high school, or even as a high school athlete, I wanted to play Division I football. And a lot of people told me I just couldn't. Too small, wasn't fast enough, just everything in the world that told me that I couldn't do it. And if anybody that know Coco Blaylock, man, when you tell me I can't do it, good luck with trying to stop me from doing it, because that really motivates me, man, to really do what people tell me I can't do. I had some people tell me when I was coming out of high school that I wouldn't be able to play Division I football, or Division II football, or Division III football, or just play football in general. But I beg to differ, man, because I always had that in me like that. So with that being said, my brother Pat, man, we talked, and I told him that I was going. I told him my plan. I laid it out there for him, and you know, he jumped on board with me and believed in everything I was trying to do. So you know, he took me to school, man. It meant a lot to me, because I could have got on a Greyhound bus and went to an unfamiliar place like I did. But you know, we talked, and you know, he wanted to be the one to set me free. He wanted to be the one to take me to a place where I was going to become a man. So with that being said, man, Estherville, Iowa, from Chicago, Kenosha Land area is probably about 8-9 hours. So he, you know, we packed up, man. I got every little thing I had left. I think it might have been 2 little bags of clothes, shoes, etc. And I was on my way. I was on my way to become a man. I was on my way to college for the first time and all of those things. And I chose this place because I wanted to get away from everything. I wasn't running. I've never ran. I won't never run. But I was just trying to get away from the drama and the heartaches and the things that I had gone through. It was time to rebuild and time to just start off fresh, you know. And that's why I label this as the birth, the start, just fresh, everything. Like, I don't know nobody. They don't know me. They don't know my story. They don't need to know nothing. It would just come up just fresh, just try to get to where I was trying to get. And that was the dream of the NFL. So, you know, my brother, we pack up, man, and we take off, man. We get over to Estherville, Iowa. And this is a true story, man. When I got to Estherville, Iowa, man, like I said, it's just a very small town, man. A couple thousand people, man. I got to say this, man. The people in Estherville, Iowa, at Iowa Lakes Community College, they was A+ as hell. Them folks, man, they never, and any of the guys I played with some real G dudes. I'm talking about some stud dudes that grew up around the way. And one thing I want to say about Iowa Lakes Community College, man, that's just that town in Estherville, Iowa, man. I really want to shout out everybody from there. Man, I never heard nobody call none of us the N-word, man. Like, you know, with the ERS. I never heard it at a game. I never heard it in the community. I never heard it, man. And that right there was hard to deal with, because from where I came from, man, and Waukegan and Zion and Kenosha, man, I heard that, man. White folks was a little different there, but we couldn't judge them all. And the way I grew up and the way my family was, we're not judging everybody by the book. I'm gonna judge you off of what I know. I'm gonna judge you off how you treat me. I'm not judging you off what happened to somebody in my family. I'm not judging you off your color. I'm not judging you off any of that, because it happened to all of us all our lives. So with that being said, shout out to the Estherville, Iowa, man, and the Iowa Lakes Community College for all the folks there, man. I was talking with a lot of the guys before I started doing this this bio of the junior college. And I asked them, I was like, man, be straight up with me with this, man. I never heard it, but have you ever heard somebody call y'all the N-word, man? And they was like, man, you know what, for real, Colt, I never heard it, man. So shout out to them folks, man, for welcoming all of us in of a different color, man, African Americans, and really embrace us and take us in, man, and let us do what we needed to do. Because like I said, we all had a path and a journey we was on, and we was trying to get somewhere. And that was our next step to get where we had to go, man. So thank y'all so much for never doing that, man, because that's a personal word to us, man. We call each other niggas. Nigga, and that's different than niggers. You know what I'm saying? Nigga and niggers is totally different. Everybody know what I'm talking about. They know what that means. So shout out, man, to Estherville and them folks. I never heard it once at a game, never heard it at the store, never heard a peep of that. So that was amazing to go through that at Iowa Lakes Community College. So man, we pull up to Estherville, Iowa, man, with my brother. You know, we riding, we talking about everything in the world. It was one of the best car rides I ever had, man, because me and my brother Patrick, we wasn't like real super close. Sometimes that happens. That didn't mean he didn't love me. That didn't mean I didn't love him. Just we wasn't real super close, man. There's some things that we talked about. We had our own little relationship that nobody else had, but we wasn't like super tight when I was young. You know what I mean? I was snotty nose and running behind my brother Mike. And that's for another day. But we talked about a lot of different things. I remember there was times where I got into it with my mom and I packed up and went to him and ran to him crying and things like that. So Pat, man, thank you for always being there for me, man. As far as that, always going through a lot yourself, man, but always trying to like really be there for your little brother, man. I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, man. So with that being said, I remember us riding, man, that long ride and just talking about everything in the world, and Joe just knew. And I remember him kept telling me, man, look, man, this is gonna be the hardest thing for me to do for you, to drop you off in unfamiliar territory, man, and let you become your own man. And it was like a dad talking to me, you know what I mean? Because he knew what I needed to do. He knew my drive. He knew my motivation. He knew what I wanted to become. He knew what I wanted to do. And I was set out to prove everybody wrong, man. And that's just part of life. Anybody that's a true competitor, you want to prove people wrong. You got to have something. You got to have roadblocks. You got to have haters. You got to have doubters. You got to have all of that to be successful. Because if you ain't got none of that, you ain't gonna reach your peak of being great. You gotta have something that fire you up. And then that old saying that don't wake up that bear. You gotta have somebody that poke at you and wake you up and mess with you, man, for you to be great. So with that being said, I made up some things sometimes for that being said. But my brother, man, I remember that talk, man. That talk was so important to me because, like I said, we didn't have a real super close relationship up to that point. But that meant a lot to me for him to take me, man, and take me to a place and kind of be like that and say, look, man, I'm dropping you off to become your own man. And I appreciate that, my nigga, Pat. With that being said, man, we pull up to Estherville, Iowa, man. And, I'm talking with the coach a little bit, about 30 minutes outside of Estherville. And we out in the boonies, man. I'm talking about we way out in the boonies, man. We up there, the top of Iowa, about maybe 45 minutes or half an hour from Minnesota. So we up in the boonies. If you know Iowa, Minnesota, man, we in the boonies, man. So we pull up, man, true story, man. And there was this pizza place I had never heard of in my life when I got there, and it was called Godfather's Pizza. And I remember getting there, man, and this was super cool now, but at that time it shook me up, and I was ready to go the other way. I was ready to, like, man, I told my brother twice, man, just take me home, take me. Let's keep it moving. Let's act like we ain't, and let's keep it moving. He was like, nah, man, I ain't doing that, man. This is where your life start. This is where you need to be. Talking with you, you excited, you happy. You had a lot of people offer scholarships and things like that, but after talking with you, this felt like the best place for your heart. And so we talked about it, and you're a man of your word. You promised them folks you was gonna come here, so you getting out my car. So if you want to catch a Greyhound back or something like that, you more than welcome, but you getting up out of my car. So he was like that though, man. So I remember pulling up to Godfather's Pizza, man. True story, I'll never forget it. And I swear, man, it was like, man, about 30, 40 people in Godfather's Pizza in the window, like waving and clapping. And I'm like, damn, like a, not like a celebrity, but just to welcome him, like a man to hug me, man. It was strange because anybody know where I'm coming from where I grew up, we don't get that. You might get the coach, you might get two, you might get makes it, but it was about 30, 40 people, man. And I hadn't done nothing. They don't know me from me. They don't know, I don't know what they heard. But man, thank you. It felt amazing to be cheered in like I was cheered in to Estherville, Iowa, man. It was about 30, 40 people, man. And that Godfather's Pizza, I had never heard of Godfather's Pizza, man. So I remember that, man, like yesterday, man, pulling up and all them people in the window clapping and waving me in and bringing us up in there, man. So the way I came into Estherville, man, was real. So like my mind, like I said, my mindset was this was like free, man. And that day, coming into that little bitty town, and for them folks to treat me like that, them coaches and them people, their friends and their family, man, I'll never forget that, man. That was amazing, man, to me. So the little town, man, only had, like I said, a couple thousand people. It had like one grocery store. Never heard of it before until I got there. It was called Hy-Vee. I was used to other stuff like Jewels and, Dominick's and, other things like that. But they had one grocery store in the whole town, man. It was called Hy-Vee. They had one McDonald's. They had one Subway. They had one Arby's. They didn't have a little bit of nothing there, man. It was a really, really small town, man. And like I said, so it was perfect for me. For the simple fact that I was there for business. I was there to try to get to where I need to get. My ultimate goal is to play in the NFL. So to get to that place, man, I wanted to go to school. I wanted to focus on what I needed to focus on, man. I wanted to be the best I could possibly be. Because like I said, all the stuff behind me was over with, man. It was a new life, a new everything, a new identity, just a new start over, prove yourself all the way again, man. So I look forward to that challenge, man. And like I said, that them folks and them coaches and that town and all them folks, man, I really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, appreciate the way y'all brought me in to Estherville, Iowa. It was a little suspect at first, kind of scared me, to be honest with you, because I had never had nobody treat me that way. So with that being said, man, shout out to that, man. And I remember my first head coach in college, man, at the Iowa Lakes Community College was Coach Messingham. I got a really, really, really good story to tell y'all, man, down the road when I get to the next episode when I talk about college, Western Illinois. Something happened with me and Messingham. That was a really, really good story, man. I'm going to tell you about that on the Western Illinois episode. But with that being said, man, I thank Coach Messingham for reaching out to me. Thank him for recruiting me. I thank him for giving me that opportunity. And I thank him more than anything in the world, man. If you know me, this is one thing that really, really rocks with me, being straight up. Don't lie to me. Just tell me what it is. Tell me you want me to play running back. Tell me you want me to play cornerback. Tell me you want me to play receiver. Just tell me the truth. And the reason why I shook away a lot of the other schools, man, because they wanted me to play defensive back and receiver, and some wanted me to play quarterback. And I'm just, I grew up being a running back, and I was so stubborn, man. And my mindset was I wanted to be a running back. And if I had to change my position, what happened? I was going somewhere else. I was going to go where somebody's going to give a small 5'9", 5'10", 160 pounds, soaking wet, a chance to play running back. Because in my heart, it was so big. And I knew I could play it. And I knew I could get out with the best. There was no doubt in my mind. I was really quiet, but I was confident. I'm telling you right now, my teammates, they'll vouch for that. So with that being said, man, when I came, man, I was like, man, I'm looking forward to the challenge. Whoever got that spot, I got to have it. Whoever come in and compete with me for that, I got to have it. But the thing about it, man, I was never going to say that, man. I was never one of them loud guys that was outcasting and things like that. But I made little small comments to my friends, the people that knew me, and they knew what it was, man. So like I said, thank you for that, Coach Messingham, bringing me out to Iowa Lakes, man. You brought a great little recruit team in, man, and we really made that little town proud. So I want to talk about my freshman year there. I talked about the town, I talked about the coach, etc. But I remember my freshman year, man. Iowa Lakes is a horrible school, man. Iowa Lakes was a school that everybody wanted to play. We was that homecoming team that everybody wanted. Iowa Lakes hadn't beat teams in like 30 years in existence. And then we came, man, me and the guys that came to that school that was from that area, and a few of the guys from the Chicagoland area, man, we came to that school, Detroit, Chicago, a few places. Man, we put it together, man, and we started beating teams that we had never beaten in 30 years, and that was special. And so that's when I really knew, man, this is probably one of the close for a tie, man, being one of my favorite places I've ever been. Was Estherville, Iowa, because I had a time to get my mind right. I had a time to focus on what I needed to focus on. And let me tell you another thing too. It became cool to me after a while, man, because I never experienced it, and a lot of the guys felt the same way because we talked about this. in Esterville, Iowa, man, they were real big into like rodeos and things like that. And where I come from, I ain't never heard of no rodeo. I seen it on TV, but I ain't know nothing about it. But man, every day, every other day, they had something there in Esterville, Iowa, like with the rodeo competitions, bullhorns, some of the things that them guys did, man. It was hard. I thought I was an athlete, but trying to do that, man, I'd have broke my damn neck trying to do some of the things they were doing. But I shout out that, man, because we didn't really have nothing to do, and there wasn't much to do. We was there to really to play football, man, and enjoy it. But to go to some of them rodeos and some of the things I saw them do, man, I applauded that and I appreciated that, man. That was pretty damn cool. So shout out to that, man. I learned a lot about that. But like I said, a lot of them guys that played football and did that, man, they was true athletes, man. What they had to try to do, oh my God, jumping on a horse and grabbing their ears and tying them up their legs, man, I can't do that, man. That was hard. So shout out to y'all for being cold-blooded at that, man. So the freshman team, man, we ended up being 6-4. Like I said, we won 6 games, man. We beat teams we never had beat. We was the doormat. People wiped their feet on us, man. They wanted to play Iowa Lakes for homecoming because they're gonna crush them. But we changed all that, man. We won 6 games. We lost 4. We had some players that just tired of it, just wanted to change it, man. And again, the attitude was that we all trying to get somewhere. This is a junior college, so we're trying to make it to some type of university, whether it's Division I, which was the big plan. If you said you didn't want to play Division I football, you should quit playing football right then and there. But, we had a goal where God was going to bless us to go. So, with that being said, man, I want to label this team, man. This is kind of my idea, and I hope nobody don't take it the wrong way, man. But it's a compliment to me. If you feel different, man, I'm sorry, but just, roll with me on this end. I felt like the freshman year was a really good year, man, and the sophomore year, I'm going to get to that year. That was the year that was the bomb. We won a bowl game. But overall, in both years, it was a team full of guys nobody wanted. We was the rejects, man. That's what I call it. We was the rejects because everybody got a story. Everybody was there for a reason, whether it's grades, whether it's attitude, whether they was lazy, whether they wasn't good enough for some other teams, whether you had the right size, the right height. I was one of the products of the size. 5'9", 160, people laughed at me trying to play running back, but I had another thing for them. You understand what I'm saying? But with that being said, man, for whatever reason, man, we all had our reasons why, man. And it ain't no excuses. It is what it is. We made it through. But like I said, it could have been from grades. It could have been from, our attitudes. It could have been from laziness. But, it could have been for whatever reason. But we was the rejects. We was the guys that nobody wanted. We was the team that nobody wanted. When you go to junior college, it's mainly you got to get your grades up. You could probably been one of the best athletes, without a doubt, a Division I prospect. But if you ain't got no grades, man, they weren't touching you, even back then and now. So with that being said, we was the rejects, man. Nobody wanted us, man, and that hurt a lot of us. But we knew we had to get on our grind and do what we had to do to get what we was trying to get. Because, man, all these guys I played with at this junior college, man, they was thorough, man. They was breeds. They was dogs, man. They really wanted to get to what they needed to get, man. And everybody had that silent dream, wouldn't say it much. They wanted to play in the NFL. Well, they wanted to take steps at a time. They wanted to play Division I football was the number one thing we all wanted to do, man. That's the conversations we would have. And then that take you where you need to go. If you was going to make it, you made it. And it's a small, 10%, 5% that make it from where we came from. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, man, it was cool, man. I really enjoyed that time, man, there. I met some really amazing people, man. And I'm going to talk about some of these folks here in a second, man. But I wanted to say, thank the town, Esterville, Iowa. Thank those folks for welcoming all of us in of different colors, different faces, different way we grew up, and letting us have a place to grow, letting us have a place to show what we was capable of. 'Cause that's all we needed was a platform, man. And so they gave us that, man. And along the way, we learned a lot, man. We grew with them as well, because a lot of us had never really been around. I can't speak for me because I was a little bit, but I know a lot of them had never been around a lot of white folks by themselves. They were predominantly black folks, and for them to come in with a positive attitude, man, and not judge them folks, man, you know what I'm saying? Because I know they went through some things too. Shouts out to them too, man. The guys that came from them predominantly black places, man, and come there to adapt. That's what life's about, man. That's the first step on being successful, man. Adapting to your surroundings, man. Because I tell you this right now, I talk about this all the time, man. A lot of us, we're a product of our environment, man. We grow up in stuff that people don't even have a clue. So me, I'm talking about it now. You get it off your chest, let people know how it was and what it was. And it ain't no knock on nobody. It ain't no sad sob story. It's just telling the truth on how you live and be proud of that. You know what I mean? We all became successful in our own rights. You know what I mean? Some a little bit more than others, but to me, y'all all good with me, man. Y'all, as far as I made and the things I did, man, I did it for all y'all. That's just being 100. I did it for all y'all. So everybody that was riding with me and played with me, um, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, broke the whole nine, man. Everything I did and we all did it. We did it together, man. When I made certain moves, I made them with y'all, man. So with that being said, man, that Iowa Lakes, man, them folks was great with us, man. And I know the guys gonna remember this too, man. They had a little spot called Okoboji. Man, they had the rafting. You can go buy little collector's items, man. We would go through that little town of about a couple hundred, man. And that was beautiful. That place was like, man, like Jamaica somewhere, a little small island, man. But Okoboji was cool. It was about 15, 20 minutes, man. It was cool, man. And I can't remember this either, man, but I gotta ask, man, because I just can't remember, and somebody gonna put me on when they realize this. But there was somebody, man, in Iowa Lakes, man. I can't remember who was just so cool with us, man. But we had somebody's car, man. We was all pumping that thing. I'm talking about to go to the store, to go to get food. It was one whip. I don't know who whip it was, but everybody drove that whip. And I'll tell you one thing that was really super cool too, man. And this is huge. So guys, you know what I'm saying? Shot this out, man. When I bring y'all on for this, I'm gonna do a Zoom where I get to bring some of these guys I'm gonna talk about on here with me, man, and we're gonna talk. And I want to hear about them, man, because it's a celebration, man. Like I'm telling y'all, this bio is a celebration of people that impacted me. So now I'm talking about the guys and the people that impacted me on this journey right here, when I went to junior college. But I'll tell you another thing, man, and these guys gonna vouch it, man, because, they all G's and they all real. The police never messed with us, man. They never gave us no problems, man. Like I said, that whole town was, man, legit as hell. And some guys should have got in trouble. I knew some guys, I ain't gonna say no names, but I don't drop like that. But I know some guys was drunk driving, speed, running through red lights, get pulled over. Oh, you play for the Lakers? Man, slow down and get home. What? Niggas in the all-white community? In a car that ain't theirs? Drunk? Man, you should have been locked up under the cell. But shout out to them folks, man. They ain't messed with us, man. They treated us great. And with that being said, I kind of feel like I know I did, and maybe some of them too, and I let them get on here and tell their side. I think they just felt like, man, they want us to make it, for this town. So I was like, man, we was making it for us. The way I looked at it was this, man. It was God first. It was that last name. You know what I'm saying? That was second. And then that school, man, and your brothers. They brought us there, but you rode for your brothers, man, and that's what we had there, man. So I was like, shout out all you guys, man. That was real big on that, man. When I got to the junior college, man, it was freedom for me. Like I said, I've been through the mud and back. You know what I'm saying? It was just me, like saying all that's in my rear view. Came there with a fresh start, man. So it was a fresh start for me, fresh everything, a new beginning, and more than anything in the world, man, a team full of rejected dudes, man. Nobody wanted them, but we went out there and handled that business. So shout out, man, to them Iowa Lake Lakers, man. So with that being said, man, I want to move on and start talking about some of these special dudes that I came across in my life at the Iowa Lakes, man. First guy I'm going to talk about, man, when I was young, I had a few friends that I would joke with a little bit. Growing up the way I grew up, man, I kind of painted a little bit of picture to y'all about Little League and things I seen. How I grew up, and a lot of these other guys grew up the same way, man, and it was rough, man, but it is what it is, man. I wouldn't change nothing for nothing. So with that being said, man, there was a few guys when I was young that I would joke with a little bit, and I just really wasn't a big joker, never really laughed much, didn't really have much to laugh about. But laughing is great for your soul, man. Laugh and keep gray off your face, man. Laugh and make you, ain't no better feeling in the world when you a closed individual, or you're a serious person, or you always got to be, on your square around everything in the world to be able to see something to make you laugh, man. You know what I mean? Because I've seen some of the guys that was the silliest guys in the world, that was the most thuggish, most battered I've ever seen in my life. Don't get that twisted. They laugh, but when it came down to it, man, they'd put you in the ground real quick. So don't get that twisted. But there was an individual, man, when I got to Iowa Lakes, man, funny dude, man. Funny dude, man. They were just part of him in general, man. He made me laugh, man, and I really genuinely laughed. First of all, I laughed because how he looked. He was a funny looking dude. When I talk about him and show a picture of him, oh, y'all gonna crack up, and he gonna have some things to say about me as well. But this dude was the first dude that really made me happy, man. He made me laugh, laugh to where I would cry, laugh. I just spoke to the dude the other day, man, and I'm gonna show you what he did sooner or later. But he just made me laugh, man. He was the one guy that made laughing great. He made me laugh, man. I want to talk about one of my guys, man. His name is Big Al. Big Al, man. He's from Detroit, Michigan, man. Shout out to Al, man. Al doing real good right now. He a comedian. When I get done with this, man, I want y'all to go celebrate Al, man, and go buy his stuff, man, and go support him, man. You know, one thing that we need to do, man, in this world, man, and not with everybody. I don't care if you black, white, you know what I mean? Support your brothers, man. Support. We don't support enough, man. And I think we really, really need to do that, man. If any of my guys, anybody I know got any businesses, family businesses, man, shoot me an email, shoot me a text or call, man. I'll try to support you in any way I can, man. I'll put it all out to the world. I'll send you what I got. But let's support each other, man. Al is a comedian out in Detroit, man. He doing well, man. I seen him on a couple Comic Live with the big comedians, and I was happy for him. I was proud. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I was so happy, like, damn, I know that nigga, man. But with that being said, man, let's support each other, man. But Al, man, he was the first one, man. I want to let him know, man. I really appreciate that love you gave me, G. You was funny as hell, man. You was the funniest looking dude by far I've ever met, but you was the coolest. Made me laugh, dog. We would walk through the trailer parks and through the dorm rooms, just silly shit, man. Me and you just laughing and talking, and like I said, I know why you was so funny too, and I know why you can crack real well, because you look so funny. You had to defend yourself, G. You had to defend yourself. Al, I'm gonna tell you about Al, and I love him to death, man. Like I said, he was the first person that made me really, really laugh, man. I mean, he really made me laugh, and I needed that. Like I said, I left all that stuff back in high school behind me. Did what I had to have done. When I got it, he was the first face that hit me, and we kicked it rough. I'm talking about we walked everywhere. He was a big dude. I was every bit of 330, man. Big old boy, but he wasn't sloppy fat in no way, shape, or form. Al was swole, had the nice build, big old head. I'm talking about there's only one other person got a bigger head than Al. You my dog, but it's the truth. You know, I'm gonna keep it 100, Al. That nigga head was so big. It was probably like two of the biggest watermelons you ever seen together in one. That was Big Al head, man. But he was cold though. Like, he had that head. He used it to his advantage. Upper body looked amazing. He was built up. Lower body was thicker. But he was the coolest 330 pound that I had seen, man. And he worked hard when he ran. His head did like this. He couldn't control it. His neck was strong as hell, but he was running. His head would bobble. Everybody know what I'm talking about. Know what I'm talking about. But man, he made me laugh, man. And I can say I'll forever thank you for showing me that it's okay to laugh, man. You know what I'm saying? Big Al was the truth, man. He was fun, man. I really enjoyed him, man. We talked. We laughed, and the thing about him what I like is this. He never asked me. He never judged me. Hey, where you from? What you do? Why you this? He never asked questions, man. And I'm the same way. I was the type of person, man. That's why for me to be coming out like this now, a lot of people shocked for the simple fact that I'm talking about it. I was closed, and I didn't want to talk about nothing. I didn't want you to know nothing about me. I didn't want to know nothing about you. I wasn't rude, but I'm just the way I grew up and the way my people was, man. We don't get in people's business. It's kind of almost like you in jail, and you don't be asking nobody what you in here for. That's kind of the way I was made. I don't need to know. If you want to tell me, we get cool in the fan, and you want to tell me, I'm an ear to listen, man. I got you. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of kept a lot of things to myself, and only my dearest people know how I was and why I was the way I was. But Big Al, man, hey. Shout out to you, dog. You was cool in the fan.